Good morning, everyone. Just want to begin today by saying that when our government launched the Way Forward, we advanced a comprehensive vision for achieving greater efficiency, strengthening the province's economic foundation, enhancing services, and improving outcomes to promote a healthy and prosperous province. At the core of the vision is our goal to return to surplus within 7 years while maintaining quality programs and services for Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. Today, in keeping with the commitment outlined in the Way Forward vision, we are announcing a significant reorganization of government that will result in a flatter, leaner structure. Following the principle of doing better with less, these changes will result in a streamlined operations and reduced costs of delivering effective programs and services. I will now announce the details of this new structure, the benefits, the synergies, and the efficiencies that we have achieved. We have established a Department of Fisheries and Land Resources. This department unites all aspects of support provided to renewable resource industries and better positions government to support economic development. To maximize the benefits of realigning the lands branch, its headquarters will be relocated to Corner Brook to position it near the majority of agriculture and forestry activity within the province. The Honourable Steve Crocker is appointed as the Minister for this department. We have also established a Department of Tourism, Industry and Innovation. The former Department of Business, Culture, Tourism and Rural Development has been streamlined for greater efficiency, and parks have been moved from within the department as part of the mandate to advance tourism. The Honourable Christopher Mitchamore is appointed as the Minister for this department. Another department that has been established is the Department of Municipal Affairs and Environment. This department reflects the mutual responsibility that the provincial government and municipal governments share regarding waste management and environmental protection. It will position the provincial government to work more effectively with municipalities and the federal government to achieve a higher environmental standard and promote sustainable communities. I would like to note that this will mean that now 3 of the 4 Atlantic provinces will have a similar portfolio. And the Honourable Hetty Joyce is appointed as the Minister of this department. We have also established an Intergovernmental Indigenous Affairs Secretariat and an Office of Labrador Affairs. Now, establishing an Intergovernmental Affairs and Indigenous Affairs Secretariat unifies our government's efforts, building on intergovernmental relations, and our efforts to advance our relationships with Indigenous governments and organizations. The Office of Labrador Affairs will address unique issues faced by the region and advance social and economic development. The responsibility of these offices will remain with me. We have also moved the Office of Climate Change within Executive Council. We have made this move following the signing of a pan-Canadian framework on clean growth and climate change. This arrangement recognizes that climate change impacts programs and services across all departments and agencies. The Honourable Perry Trimper will continue with this ministerial responsibility. In addition to being appointed Minister of Service NL and the Minister responsible for climate change, Minister Trimper also assumes the following responsibilities. He will be the Minister responsible for Francophonie Affairs, the Minister responsible for Government Purchasing Agency, and the Minister responsible for Workplace NL. We are also reducing silos in government operations, in keeping with commitments made in the Way Forward vision. A government marketing functions will be consolidated with the Communications and Public Engagement branch. Engineering services will be merged with the Department of Transportation and Works. These shared services will result in increased efficiencies and effectiveness within government operations. In addition, the Office of French Services will be moved from the Human Resource Secretariat to Service NL to support government's capacity to deliver services in French. These changes are effective immediately. Websites, as well as documentation for departments, will be changed to reflect the new departmental structures. The changes that I've announced are the result of some extensive work. Since we took office, we have been closely reviewing the structure of government and identifying opportunities to streamline. By implementing this new structure, we're continuing to adapt to our fiscal climate with a goal of settling this province and setting it on a strong economic footing. The restructuring of government is an ongoing process, and the changes announced today mark another step on that road. In our efforts to achieve a flatter, a leaner management structure, we have been focused on gaining synergies and improving efficiencies. We have also been focused on finding a way to make staffing levels within the provincial government financially sustainable. To underline the need to make our government flatter and leaner, I want to note that a number of provincial public sector jobs per every 1,000 people in Canada in 2015 was 67. In our province, there were 94 public sector jobs for every 1,000 people. In Atlantic Canada, that number is about 80. So to put it in another way, on a per capita basis, our public sector was 40% larger than the Canadian average. So to discuss our continued efforts to address this unsustainable growth that has happened in the public sector over the last decade, I will now turn the proceedings over to Minister Bennett. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Premier. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. As the Premier noted, last November, the provincial government launched The Way Forward, a vision for sustainability and growth in Newfoundland and Labrador. One of the key commitments outlined was to achieve a more efficient public service, including government's commitment to complete a review of departmental organizational structures and management subordinate reporting relationships by the end of March. We began the process of streamlining the public service with the elimination of 19% of the deputy ministers' positions last August and 20% of the assistant deputy minister positions and 31% of the communications positions last fall. Those decisions to date reflect our government's long-term goals and objectives and mark an important step in creating a flatter, leaner management system. Today we are continuing with the implementation of the new flatter, leaner management structure. A detailed review of departmental organizational structures and management subordinate reporting relationships has been completed. The new flatter, leaner management structure will result in the elimination of 287 positions, 287 total management positions, of which 90 positions are currently vacant. This represents a 17% reduction in management positions. Notifications for impacted employees will begin today, and all notifications will be completed within a week. We realize that this is a very difficult time for people who are impacted by the new management structure. This decision was not an easy one. It was very difficult, as many tough decisions had to be made. However, in light of our very serious fiscal situation, they are decisions that we had to make. We are committed to make core government more efficient and focused. The people of the province will hold us to that. Decisions announced to date reflect our long-term goals and objectives and mark an important step in creating our flatter, leaner management structure. And today we are proceeding with a number of actions intended to create the efficiencies in the management positions throughout our core government. To ensure that we provide the necessary services and programs to the people of the province, we are creating a more efficient and streamlined management structure. I want to be clear. My priority today is to speak as the minister responsible for the Human Resource Secretariat. As a result of this reduction, a number of positions will be eliminated, and employment will end for employees in those roles. Other employees whose positions are impacted will avail of restricted, merit-based assessment for the remaining positions. We know this is a difficult time for employees whose jobs have been eliminated and for those who will undergo competitions for newly created or realigned positions. And the Public Service Commission is available to provide employee support for individuals and their families through the Employee Assistance Program. The Human Resource Secretariat will provide supports to assist those who will need to prepare for the restricted competitions that will be taking place as a result of the new management structure. All departments have been directed to immediately work with the Human Resource Secretariat and the Public Service Commission to carry out a restricted merit-based assessment process as per the Public Service Commission restructuring policy. This process will be ongoing for a number of weeks, but government is committed to concluding that process as quickly as is possible. Out of respect for the impacted employees and their families, I will not be speaking to specific employee details or departmental details today. We have provided the total number of positions to be eliminated through this process. Today's actions reflect the completion of the review of management positions within core government, exclusive of agencies, boards, and commissions. And this will provide greater clarity and stability on government's rationale around management-level positions that remain within the core government. Flatter, leaner management is expected to reduce government spending by approximately $20 to $25 million annually in salaries and benefits. Employees who leave government, regardless of the circumstances, are entitled to the cash equivalent of their unused leave time and severance pay. Those costs are already included in government's liabilities. The only additional one-time expense is related to pay in lieu of notice. And while the actual expense for pay in lieu of notice will be determined once all staffing actions are completed, government expects approximately $15 million will be reflected in the salary expenses for this fiscal year to cover costs associated with pay in lieu of notice. In closing, I certainly respect that the media have a job to do. However, in this new world of instant communication, I ask that they be respectful of the impacted employees and their families during this time. There will be some employees leaving their workplaces after receiving unsettling news, and I ask that their privacy be respected and that they be provided the opportunity to first speak to their families. During this challenging time, we will do our best to support all public service employees in any way that we can. Thank you.